Whew, what a strange time it's been to be a Tesla investor. Let's talk about what's going on with both the company and the stock. And then we'll take a look inside my personal portfolio and see how much my portfolio has been affected. Because let me tell you, it's really taken a hit this past week. So we have seen Tesla stock absolutely obliterated very recently, ever since the Q3 earnings call came out on the 18th of October. Now there's no sugarcoating it. The earnings call was a little bit weird. We did see a downward trend in the financials, but we did also get some general pieces of positive nuggets and optimistic commentary about different catalysts aligned for both the near and mid to long-term future. The earnings call itself had a very peculiar tone. It was quite dull and it wasn't like we've heard before. Elon didn't sound excited about the future, and in fact, he sounded pessimistic. But then on top of all that, we had the long-awaited Cybertruck delivery date announced, which, like I just said, long-awaited. People have been waiting to hear when this would be for what feels like a very long time. So all in all, it was just a bit of a mixed bag and it was just a bit weird. And I'm not surprised that the stock is now reacting to this and we're getting lots and lots of market noise. I think actually, if we had had the Cybertruck delivery announcement maybe a week before, so it wasn't paired with earnings, we probably would have seen the stock price shoot right up on that news because it was very positive news. But this just wasn't the case, unfortunately. Another thing that I keep saying, I've said time and time before, is that one area of Tesla that excites me in particular is the energy sector. I think there is a lot of untapped growth potential here for Tesla, and in the earnings, we really saw this start coming to light. I'm not sure how many people actually expected the energy gross margins to come in as good as they did. And not only that, but they have grown so much in just a 1-year period. In Q3, the energy business sector's gross margin exceeded any of Tesla's other business areas. It was the highest margin sector of the entire Tesla portfolio. This happened for the first time. So I think the growth potential here is looking fantastic and I'm very, very excited about it. And remember that although the energy sector margins are now the highest across the business, this isn't the same as the revenue and profit being higher than the automotive sector. The automotive sector is still driving the most revenue and profit across all of Tesla. And this is due to the number of products sold. So even though the energy sector has higher margins, they are simply not selling the same volumes as you see with the automotive side. So it doesn't quite balance out in that way. But nevertheless, it's still really cool to see that the energy sector is now becoming a serious contributor to Tesla's overall profitability. I think the thing that people were most unhappy about from the call was the margins, which took a very significant hit compared to last year. Tesla have been decreasing the prices of their vehicles for all the reasons that we've discussed before, including the fact that the macroeconomic situation is far from favorable. There is high interest rates, which means loans are expensive, and also leases on cars are more expensive. And I found out that 30% of all car owners in the UK actually lease their car. So clearly, this is going to impact Tesla. And simply put, people just don't have the money for anything other than their basic needs. They don't have the money for these high-ticketed items like brand new vehicles. So Tesla have had to react. In order to stay strong during these times, they brought prices down. Unfortunately though, Tesla were not able to bring the cost of producing a car low enough, quick enough, at the same time as reducing prices in order to keep these margins higher. But we do know, however, that they've done recently those Q3 planned factory upgrades. So this should help. Well, anyway, what does all this mean? Well, it means that actually a lot of people have been freaking out. A lot of people have decided, whether they're retail investors or institutional investors, to sell out of Tesla stock. And of course, when that happens, the stock price falls. So the question then becomes that you need to ask yourself, I've asked myself, and I will continue to ask myself, have these earnings and has everything that's been going on recently changed my thesis and my conviction for Tesla? And I'm not talking about the Tesla stock, I'm talking about Tesla the company. If it's a no, and you think that Tesla will overcome these slightly decreased margins, which actually in the grand scheme of things are still quite good, you think that they're going to go on to improve their financial situation, which again, in the grand scheme of things are still very, very good, and will continue to be one of, if not the best companies at progression and innovation moving forward, then short term, this just doesn't matter. But this is only the case if you are a long-term investor and you're willing to continue to buy/hold your Tesla stock for the long term. If you need profits soon, or you're anticipating wanting profits soon, or you are trading, then of course the daily price movements of the stock do matter. So there's an important distinction there to be made. To demonstrate this point, if you only cared about short-term movements, and we're going to look at Apple stock just to mix things up, on this channel, you would have really freaked out back in August 2022 through December 2022. Because during this time, the stock price lost about 25%. However, that does not mean that during that time, Apple became 25% less valuable. It means the stock fell by that much. And sometimes those two things are married up and they're very connected, but other times they're simply not. But those who continue to hold Apple stock because they believed Apple was a very, very valuable company and would continue to grow, then saw it recover. Because like I keep saying, the stock and the company are not the same. So you have to question whether you believe the company itself is still doing the right things. Are they still a robust company? Are they still strong financially? Are they still growing? And actually with Tesla, yes, they are still growing. They are growing in sales very much compared to competitors. So then we have to ask ourselves, well, how low will Tesla stock go? How low will it go? Anyway, moving on from that very quickly. I hope that never resurfaces. How low will it go? Well, simply, we don't know. I don't know. You don't know. Elon Musk may have a better idea. No, I'm joking. He doesn't know. No one knows because we can't predict the market. That's the point. Some people like to do technical analysis, and I think people say if it breaks $200 per share as a resistance level, then it could drop further to 100. But to be honest, I don't really partake in technical analysis. I don't really understand it. So in my opinion, there's no way of telling. But what I will say is that if it continues to drop lower, it trades sideways or it goes up. It doesn't change my investment thesis at this stage in my investment journey. But there's something to be said here in that the macroeconomics are real. They are definitely not the best at the moment, and we don't know if they're going to get worse. If they do get worse, then Tesla stock may also get worse with it, honestly. A strong company should obviously be able to survive these macroeconomic situations and even thrive after them. But that doesn't mean that the stock rebounds to $400 in the next week and that we can all just retire. As nice as that would be, I don't think that's the case, and we definitely shouldn't rely on that being the case. It could still be a very hard and painful time for quite a long time to come. We don't know. So let's just take a quick look at my portfolio. I don't normally share my portfolio more than once a month on this channel. I do with my patrons. I share it every single week and we talk in Discord about my portfolio and their portfolio pretty much every day. But I think it's important to show what my portfolio looks like and how impacted it's been in the last week, because any beginners out there may be freaking out. And this may help to reassure you, that we're all going through it, because we really are. So you can see that the return in my portfolio is currently sitting at 13.4%, which is actually really good, and I'm pleased because this is still beating the general market. However, just to give you some context, this has dropped by about 50% in the space of 6 days. This time last week, this percentage figure was doubled. And the majority of these losses, these short-term losses that don't really matter in the long term, have come from my Tesla holding. Tesla is by far my largest position in this portfolio, followed by Palantir. And of course, Tesla has not had a very nice time. Therefore, my portfolio has been really impacted. It would work the opposite way around. If Tesla stock had a crazy upward run for a while, my portfolio would really demonstrate that because it's such a large position within my portfolio. So what happens now for me? Well, I still have the same opinions about Tesla based on my research as I did before the earnings. I still aim to accumulate and hold as many shares as I can of Tesla. Right now, Tesla stock is a lot lower in price than it has been for a little while. So I will use this significant fall to try and load as much cash as I personally can afford that doesn't impact my life, doesn't impact my emergency fund, all of that stuff, into Tesla as I possibly can, trying to take advantage of the opportunity. But I will say that this earnings call has signified to me that it's more important than ever before to be emotionless, rational, logical, and have a long-term mindset, because the short and the mid-term may be quite painful. My research and my confidence in Tesla that they will grow long term still holds. I still see a lot of opportunity in the energy sector. I still believe FSD will be solved. And remember, when it is, it will have SaaS margins. So that is, a lot of money coming into Tesla. I think that they will go on to develop a robo-taxi fleet, but who knows when, of course, no idea. And then I believe further down the line that the Optimus, the Tesla bot, will happen. And then, of course, we've got this Cybertruck, and hopefully, I really hope that they go on to make that affordable vehicle, because I think that has real potential and could be very, very big for Tesla. Now, I shared this next quote in my newsletter that came out yesterday. It's completely free, so if you do want to sign up and get the next one on Sunday, have a look for the link in the description below. But this quote reads as follows: "The 4 most dangerous words in investing are, 'This time is different.'" This is a quote from Sir John Templeton, and it summarizes exactly what I felt when I've gone through a market crash before. When you're in a crash, you really feel that it is different this time. You feel like everything's going to go to zero and you're going to lose all your money, and there is no possible way that the market or the particular stock is ever going to go up again. It's very easy to sort of psych yourself up and see it that way. But what I learned when I went through my first and my only one, big one anyway, is that it does pass. Everything does. And if you are convicted and you are invested into really strong, high value companies, then it will be okay. But of course, that's just my opinion, not financial advice, and do your own research on which companies you think they are. And then just to end us off on this Tesla stock fall malarkey that we've all been seeing, we've all been hearing about, and we've all been feeling in our own portfolios, I wanted to share this X post that Jason DeBolt put up just a few days ago, yesterday. He put it up yesterday. So just to give you some context in case you've never come across Jason DeBolt, he was one of the early Tesla investors and he managed to retire a millionaire from his Tesla stock. He was buying, he was holding, he was accumulating as many shares when not a lot of other people even knew about Tesla or just didn't believe in Tesla. When everyone else was saying that it's going to zero, there's no way that they can do what they're saying they're going to do, he had his research and he had his conviction. And it paid off. So let's just hear what he has to say about the current times. "It's not the money that you've lost, because an investment isn't money. What was lost was public confidence in the stock. That's all. What does the public, including Wall Street analysts, know about Tesla? Very little. These people still think that Tesla is a car company. Pure hallucinations. Your percentage ownership did not change. If you know what a company is worth, you know what a company is worth. Tesla is a more valuable company every single day. Every day you hold the stock, you become wealthier. The recent earnings call was a gift to retail shareholders who are currently buying. Every day Tesla delivers more products. Every day Tesla engineers make important but unpublicized breakthroughs. Every day Tesla pulls further ahead of competitors. Tesla isn't competing anymore. They have transcended the competition. It's like Michael Jordan playing high school basketball at this point. This is a time to be holding and or accumulating. The longer the base, the bigger the breakout. You are me sometime between 2013 and 2018. That's when I earned my retirement. Investing is a war with your own mind." So I think that it's really interesting to zoom out, to think about what people have to say that have been through times like this before. I think Jason just said it perfectly there. Tesla is getting more valuable every single day. When you are investing into a volatile growth stock like Tesla, you can kind of expect times like this. We have seen both rises of 10% in a given day, even more. We've seen falls of 10% or even more in a given day. They are not new to Tesla. So when investing long term, always zoom out and think about your conviction. Let me know how you feel and you think about all of this in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time in another video.